Hello yoga friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and this is the 31-day yoga challenge. Today is day 6. The theme today is reaching. We won't be needing any props today, and as always there is a Spotify playlist linked down below in case you'd like to listen to some tunes while you practice. So without further ado, let's get started here in Sukhasana, easy pose. Crossing the legs here, bringing the palms down on the knees, palms down for some grounding energy, palms up to harness some energy from the universe. We can go ahead and flutter the eyes closed or take a soft gaze, evening out the breath here, in and out through the nostrils, deep into the belly, and coming into the present moment. We'll begin our practice by setting an intention. Anything that comes to mind is wonderful, and if nothing comes to mind, you can always use this one. I reach for the sky, but always keep my feet on the ground. I reach for the sky, but always keep my feet on the ground. And whatever intention you chose for yourself today, begin to inhale that beautiful energy from that intention in through the nose, deep into the belly, and open the mouth. Sigh. Exhale out anything extra you may have brought onto your mat today. Taking that one more time, inhaling through the nose deep into the belly and opening the mouth. Sigh. Exhale out anything extra. Coming back to your even breath, knowing you can always return to your intention throughout practice and perhaps throughout the rest of your day today. You can go ahead and flutter your eyes open, and we're going to begin class by inhaling arms overhead, reaching towards the sky, but making sure to keep those shoulders down and relaxed. And then exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to do this a few times and then reverse it. Try to find a little joy or playfulness in this movement if you can. So next inhale, let's inhale those arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. And let's reverse that by inhaling, arms overhead, almost like you're throwing confetti up, and exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms overhead, and exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale and exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful work. Next inhale, we'll bring those arms out to a T. Exhaling, right hand down onto the mat, left arm overhead, reaching to the right, stretching through that left side body. Option to gaze towards the sky here. Let's stay here for 2 rounds of breath. And next inhale, come back up to center, arms to a T, and exhale, left hand to the mat, right arm overhead, reaching to the left, opening through that right side body. 2 rounds of breath. And next, inhale up to center, arms to a T, and let's float those hands back down to the knees as we inhale, bringing that chest forward, looking up to the sky for a seated cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding the spine, seated cat. Inhale, back to cow, connecting body to breath. Exhale, chin to chest. And we'll take that one more time. Inhaling to cow. And exhale, cat. Inhale back to center in Sukhasana. And we're going to uncross our legs, bringing our feet together, knees bent for bound ankle or butterfly pose. If this is uncomfortable, you can always bring your heels a little bit further from your groin, making more of a diamond shape instead of a triangle. or wherever feels comfortable. You can sit up nice and tall, shoulders down and relaxed. And then on your next exhale, let's begin a forward fold by walking those palms forward, allowing the head, neck, and shoulders to release. If this is a little too much sensation here, you can always place a block underneath your forehead or some pillows. And we're going to stay here for about 5 rounds of breath. Gently opening our hips, knowing that if it becomes too intense here, we can always back out of the pose or make any adjustments. And on your next inhale, gently roll up the spine, maybe pressing through the palms. Coming back up to a seated position, and let's find our way into a tabletop. Bringing knees directly under hips, wrists directly under shoulders. Flexing the feet here, maybe walking the palms a little bit forward, and lifting the hips up and back into our first downward facing dog for the day, pedaling through the feet. Or generously bending the knees here, making sure feet are hip width distance or wider, shoulders down and back, neck nice and released, and eyes of the elbows pointed towards the front of the mat with all 10 fingers spread wide. We're going to stay here for 3 more rounds of breath, maybe finding some organic movement or breathing in stillness. And on your next inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet. Step, hop, or float forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, gently roll up the spine 1 vertebrae at a time into Tadasana, mountain pose. And then inhaling those arms overhead, making sure the shoulders are down and relaxed still. We're going to exhale that right hand to the hip, left arm overhead, reaching to the right. Inhale, come back up to center, arms overhead. Exhale, left hand to the hip, right arm overhead, reaching to the left. And inhale, back up to center. We'll do that a few more times. Exhaling over to the right. And then inhaling back up to center. Exhale, reach over to the left. And inhale, back up to center, arms overhead, reaching towards the sky. And then exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plant the palms, step, hop, or float back. Flow as you so choose, and I'll meet you in downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here. And on your next inhale, let's inhale that left leg up to the sky for 3-legged dog. And exhale, left heel towards the right glute, opening through that hip, making sure that the shoulders are squared off here. An option to flip your dog by bringing the left foot onto the outer edge of that mat, reaching that left arm forward. 1 round of breath here. And on your next inhale, let's flip that dog back to 3-legged dog if you took your flipped dog there. And then exhale that left foot to the front of the mat between the hands. Inhaling, arms overhead for high crescent. Exhale, open to warrior 2. flipping the left palm towards the sky, reaching towards the front of the mat. Exhale, reverse your warrior, 2 rounds of breath. Next, inhale, come back to warrior 2. Exhale, left forearm to left thigh, right arm overhead, extended side angle, 2 rounds of breath. And next, inhale, back to warrior 2. Let's flip that left palm towards the sky, reaching towards the front of the mat. Exhale, reverse your warrior, 2 rounds of breath. Inhale, back to warrior 2. Let's straighten through the left leg, sending the hips slightly back, and then exhale into triangle pose by reaching that right arm overhead, bringing the left palm either on the shin or on a block or the mat on the outside of the left foot here. Option to gaze towards the sky. Let's stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. Next, inhale, bend through that left knee, coming back in to warrior 2. Let's pivot all 10 toes towards the front of the mat, and then step that right foot towards the front of the mat into Tadasana mountain pose. Arms are still overhead. And shifting the weight onto the left leg, let's kickstand that right foot. Option to move into tree pose here by bringing that right sole of the foot on the inside of the left calf or thigh, avoiding the knee area here. And keeping those arms overhead, you can also bind your hands with your pointer fingers pointed towards the sky. Really going back to the intention we set at the beginning of class, where we're reaching for the sky, but keeping our feet on the ground. We'll stay in tree for 2 more rounds of breath. And on your next exhale, simply allow that right foot to go back down onto the mat, dropping those arms by the side, and let's shake it out here. Coming back to our Tadasana mountain pose, inhaling arms overhead, reaching for the sky, and exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half left. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plant the palms, step, hop, or float back, flow as you so choose, and I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Let's stay here for 2 rounds of breath. And on your next inhale, let's inhale that right leg up into 3-legged dog, and exhale, right heel towards the left glute. Option to flip that dog, bringing the right foot on the outer edge of the mat, reaching the right arm forward. Next inhale, if you are in your flip dog, let's come back into 3-legged dog. And exhale that right foot in between the palms at the front of the mat, inhaling up to high crescent, and exhale, open to warrior 2. Flipping the right palm towards the sky, reaching towards the front of the mat. Exhale, reverse your warrior, 2 rounds of breath. And next, inhale, come back to warrior 2. Exhale, right forearm to right thigh, left arm overhead, extended side angle, 2 rounds of breath. Next, inhale, come back to warrior 2. Flip that right palm towards the sky once more, reach towards the front of the mat, and exhale, reverse your warrior, 2 rounds of breath. Inhale back to warrior 2. Let's straighten through that right leg, sending the hips slightly back, and exhale, move into triangle pose, left arm reaching towards the sky, and right hand either on the shin or on the outer edge of the right foot. We'll stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. Next, inhale, bend through that right knee, coming back into that warrior two. Let's pivot all 10 toes towards the front of the mat and step that left leg to the front of the mat into Tadasana mountain pose, shifting the weight on the right leg this time, kickstanding that left foot. An option to move into tree pose by bringing that left sole of the foot on the inside of that right leg, making sure to avoid the knee area here. And bringing arms overhead, really reaching for the sky, but rooting through all four corners of that right foot. Two more rounds of breath here. Next, exhale, lower that left foot down onto the mat, reaching towards the sky once more, and exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plant the palms, and let's step back into high plank. You're welcome to do this next series just from tabletop as well. But if you'd like to join me in high plank, make sure our wrists are directly under our shoulders here, really activating our core. Let's go ahead and lift that left leg in the air, right arm in the air. Then place back down into high plank and lift the right leg, left arm. And back down into high plank. Let's do that one more time. Lifting left leg and right arm. High plank, and switch over, right leg, left arm, and back into high plank, inhaling here, and exhale all the way down to the belly. Let's inhale, press the hips back onto the heels, sitting in child's pose, reaching towards the front of the mat here, just taking 2 rounds of breath. And next, inhale, gently roll all the way up to a seated position, and let's find our way down onto our backs. Keeping our knees bent, soles of the feet on the earth. Let's bring our arms out to a T and exhale, legs over to the right for a supine twist. Making sure that left shoulder remains in contact with the earth. Option to gaze over those left fingertips. And next, inhale, bring those knees back up to center. And exhale everything over to the left. Making sure that right shoulder stays in contact with the mat. Option to gaze over the right fingertips. And next, inhale, let's bring those knees back up to center. And inhale them into the chest, grabbing the outer edges of the feet, moving into happy baby for 3 rounds of breath here. Maybe finding some organic movement or breathing in stillness. And next, exhale. Gently move into your Shavasana for the day, final resting pose. Adjusting any clothing or hair that might be distracting. Scanning the body for any tension to exhale. And allow yourself to stop being a human doing and just be a human being. I will let you know when it's time to come out of your Shavasana. But for now, simply rest. And you are welcome to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you'd like. But if you'd like to close out class with me, begin to bring awareness back to your breath. Introducing some movement into your body, maybe by wiggling your fingers and toes, rolling through the wrists and ankles, maybe windshield wipering the feet or knees from side to side, finding any organic movement here to wake the body back up. And then very gently roll onto one side, finding a fetal position, using your bottom arm as a pillow, knees bent. And on your next inhale, maybe keeping your eyes closed here or in the soft gaze, come back into Sukhasana, easy pose. Bringing hands to heart center. I want to thank you for coming to practice with me today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll close our class with the sound of Om. Inhaling through the nose deep into the belly. Om. And bringing thumbs to third eye. May the light and love in me recognize and honor the light and love in you. Namaste.